You are now listening to Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now in Odyssey Station.
In this season of Sports Out of Pocket, it's all luck, with returning segments like
Controversy,
Jalen Carter just let it get the best of him for some reason, and he decided to do it back.
Cash or Trash.
Do we think Joe Flacco can turn around the Cincinnati Bengals team?
And we're going all in for Fire Me Up.
Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, Florida. Stop what you're doing and listen to me right now, sir. You have been the king of the NFC South for 3 years.
And we take our chances with our brand new segment, Look of the Draw.
today's categories, top 10 2010s wide receivers. Parker, you polled.
Did I just pull A.J. Green?
What?
And we strike gold with our interviews.
This is the Philly Sports Guy.
This is former MLB All-Star Justin Masterson.
Hey, yo, what up? My name is Josh Martinez from Z100 New York.
What up, guys? It's Tyrell Adams, former UWG linebacker.
And this is Sports Out of Pocket.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new season number 7 for Sports Out of Pocket. I'm your host today, Jackson Voles, as always. And with every new season comes new segments, comes new members, and I'm going to introduce everybody around the table who I can do this show with, the most amazing cast. Across from me, the Bills fan, JT Groves. JT, how's your day going, man?
Dude, I'm so excited. I'm dealing with a knee injury, but I've been kind of putting that thought to the side, thinking about the show tonight. Just wanting to put on a good show for the fans, but also I get to talk to my boys about some sports.
Sounds like an excuse like all Bills fans do, but we'll get into that later on in the show.
Oh, we will.
To the left of me, the Falcons fan, but also a big Drake May fan, returning at the board, Michael Miller. Michael, how's your day going, man?
I'm doing great, Jackson. You know, JT kind of touched on a minute ago. I was sitting around watching the NFL playoffs the last couple weeks, and I was like, I'm really bummed out that we don't have a show this week, so I can go and talk about what happened this past weekend. So I'm very excited to be back.
I'm super excited to have you back. And to the right of me, a brand new member. By the way, Grady got arrested at the Kyle Pitts convention in Atlanta, so he is not going to be here this season. But in his place and potentially for the future, Parker Andell. Parker, how's your day going, man?
It's going good, man. I'll gladly step in place and carry everything that Grady brought here. I will not be as fond of Kyle Pitts as he was, but, I still love the Falcons. So
there we go.
I'm still super excited to have you on, man. You definitely bring the energy, and everybody around is wearing their team jerseys. I mean, Bills, Falcons, Yankees, and the Eagles. But you know how you can rep Wolf Sports Network. When it comes to fandom, nothing matters more than the fit. The logo you wear solidifies your love. Now you can be a Wolf Sports Network fanatic with our brand new merch store powered by Osier Apparel. Visit wolfsportsnetwork.com and click about. And let's get into this show.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
We're in here talking about practice.
It's time for the latest sports controversies.
That's right, our hit segment is back for the 7th season in a row, Controversy. Now, you've seen around the NFL a lot of coaching firings and hirings and stepping downs have happened, and I want to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but not me. We have a special message from Andrew Will, professor here at the University of West Georgia. Michael.
That doggone Mike Tomlin, the standard is the standard. Well, you know what? The standard for the Steelers was to let you go, brother. Anyway, I do like Mike Tomlin, though. I love Mike Tomlin. I do believe it was time for him to go. I think it just outplayed itself.
Now, a lot of people have mixed reactions about Mike Tomlin stepping down. The Steelers owner stepped up and said that he wasn't going to be fired. He might be heading to television. JT Groves, you're an AFC fan. I want to start off with your opinion with Mike Tomlin stepping down for the Steelers.
I mean, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you needed a change. I mean, it was bound to happen. You're tired of these 9-8 seasons, just barely making it over 500, maybe sneaking into a playoff spot, but then you get eliminated first round. There needed to be a change. I mean, that wasn't going to happen with Mike Tomlin. I mean, he's been that same 9-8 coach almost his entire career now. And, I mean, I think it was bound to happen. I like the move for the Steelers. I think it's what was best for him in an AFC North that, 9-8 is just not going to be good enough when it comes to next year.
I mean, we've seen it time and time again with these NFL head coaches. I mean, John Harbaugh as well in Baltimore got fired over there. I mean, 2 losing seasons in the last 5 seasons for John Harbaugh. But honestly, you need a change of pace, especially with, the younger Bucks coming up in the head coaching ranks that we've seen do phenomenal. I mean, Ben Johnson, phenomenal for the Bears this season. But, Michael, what are your thoughts on Mike Tomlin?
Yeah, I'm glad that it happened for him. They need to make that move, but I'm also really glad that it happened the way it did, and it wasn't like a situation where Mike Tomlin gets fired, he agrees to step down. Because like JT was saying, he's had so much success there and won so much for him. But at the same time, they're just stuck in this pattern of going 9-8 or this year 10-7. They're consistently just being a good team, but they're not ever going to reach that great potential, I don't think, with Mike Tomlin. So it was definitely time for a change.
Yeah, my guys hit the key points there. But I think it was a perfect time because instead of going down a slope of declining, got him out at the right time. The AFC North is wide open at this point. I mean, everybody's got new beginnings, so it was a perfect time for the Steelers to move on and find something fresh.
So who steps in for the Steelers now with a head coaching vacancy over there?
Arthur Smith.
Actually? do you actually believe that?
No.
So who do you think steps in? It's very hard to debate and decipher.
I like a certain guy from the LA Chargers. I mean, you think about the Steelers, you think defense, and I mean they have guys like T.J. Watt. I mean they have Fitzpatrick. Now they have Jalen Ramsey. You have these guys that are like, you're a defensive heavy team. They're not really known for their offense. I like a guy like Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator for the LA Chargers right now. Great defensive minded guy. I want him to come to Buffalo personally, but I mean, I think that'd be a great fit for the Steelers. I think that to really build on their defense that's always been so good, you have stars on that defense. Why not continue to build it?
I mean, you definitely want a younger guy in there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As you said, change at pace. Honestly, I'm looking at the quarterback's coach for the Broncos who's been around the coaching carousel, Davis Webb. I like what he did in Denver this season. And, he has NFL experience, building up. He started off as an offensive analyst for the not the New York Jets, the Miami Dolphins. Elevated Bo Nix's game this season. Unfortunately, what has went down with Bo Nix, the whole injury thing. But Davis Webb, I think, would be phenomenal in a Pittsburgh setting. Now, JT, continuing on the conversation with, the NFL playoffs, you're a Bills fan, and there was some controversy at the end of the game with the whole Brandon Cooks catch. Was it a catch? Was it not? Give us your opinion.
Yeah, so I mean, watching this game, we 100% should not have been in this game at that point. Like Josh Allen having 4 turnovers. We were talking about this earlier. He's mentioned earlier on the season, you can't win a game with that many turnovers. And Josh Allen, first time we can actually blame him for a playoff loss in a long time. It's always been the defense. It's always been the penalties, sometimes the calls, but I'm not going to completely blame the refs. But that play of him throwing up the ball to Brandon Cooks, and some people say he didn't have possession. I think he did. I think he had possession. His knee hit the ground. I think that should have been a completed catch at that point. And then Jaquan McMillan ended up just snatching the ball out of his hand, and they didn't even take time to review it. That's the most controversial part about it is they didn't even, Sean McDermott called the timeout. He was like, can we at least look at this? Because it was in overtime. You can't challenge it. It's all upstairs. It's all the officials. And they didn't even take time to review it. They just went on to the Broncos drive, and that drive ended up winning them the game. So I think they should have just taken more time to look at it.
Yeah, when I watched it live, I thought it was a catch. And then especially you have the next night, you have Devontae Adams have the same exact play.
The exact
same catch. And they review it, and they call it a catch. And so at that point, it really frustrates you too. I thought it was a catch. It's an unfortunate situation, but I think, like you said, when you have 4 turnovers in a game, it's kind of a miracle you're even in it to begin with. So
yeah, Bills did not deserve to win that game, especially with Josh Allen's performance. But the fact that we were in it and then it kind of got taken away from us like that, it's upsetting, but I didn't think it was going to be our year.
I'm glad you're in the right mind as a Bills fan because I see a lot of Bills Mafia out there saying, oh, it should have been a catch, and honestly, that would have won us the game. But 4 turnovers is inexcusable, especially as probably the best quarterback in all the NFL, alongside Patrick Mahomes, over there in the NFL with Josh Allen is inexcusable time and time again. And it kind of led to Sean McDermott's firing. I don't think he should have been fired, and I want to talk about
that later.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But, honestly, this was the year for the Bills to win it all. No Mahomes, no Lamar, no Joe Burrow. And they had a great path to the playoffs, great path to the Super Bowl, and it just didn't go their way.
I'll say another key moment is before half, trying to rush a play with 13 seconds left, no timeouts. Josh just knows better than that. And when you allow that to happen, you can't expect to win a game. So it sucks to come down to one controversial play in overtime that everybody can look at and say, oh, that. But, Josh, you shot yourself in the foot time and time again through the whole game. and you just didn't deserve to win the game.
Yeah, that was a very questionable call, trying to make something happen with no timeouts. And, I mean, you didn't have much time on the clock anyway. Just kneel the ball out, be down 7 going into halftime. But instead, Josh Allen, he plays like he's a rookie. He runs up, he's holding the ball like he's prime LaShawn McCoy, holding the ball in one hand, not protecting it, ends up dropping it, and
what do
sets him up in a
they
field
literally
goal.
lose by the field goal.
The 3 points, yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's definitely rough for Bills fans, and, I look forward to the AFC Championship, but we'll get onto that a little later on the show. But we talk about playoffs, we talk about accolades, and I want to shift over to the MLB. By the way, let's congratulate Andrew Jones for making the MLB Hall of Fame.
Congrats.
Very much well-deserved, along with Jeff Kent, but I want to talk about the induction of Carlos Beltran. Personally, I love Carlos Beltran. 9-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, over 400 homers. I mean, a 270-something batting average. Phenomenal player. But a lot of people had mixed reactions after he was inducted to the MLB Hall of Fame just due to the cheating scandal back in 2017 with the Houston Astros. Michael, what are your thoughts on Carlos Beltran being inducted to the Hall of Fame? I think he should be a Hall of Famer, but I want to ask you.
He's a New York Met, so no.
Your genuine thoughts.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, he should be. I think anybody that looks at like his stats, obviously 279 hitter, over 400 home runs, 435 I believe is the exact number. Almost 3,000 hits. He was a little shy of that. He had a very good career. Definitely a Hall of Fame worthy career in my opinion. And for people to be upset about the Astro cheating scandal, I get it. It's 1 year. He wasn't taking steroids or anything like that. I think if you're being honest, you have to look at his career and say he deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame.
Of course, I agree. When you think of Carlos Beltran's name, you think of greatness. I mean, you think automatically. You think, okay, Hall of Fame. And, he had a stint with the Yankees, not his prime. He was much better with the Mets. But you don't even – to get deep into the cheating scandal, you don't know everybody's role in it. So there was multiple guys who were not good with it, did not go through with it. So unless you know kind of Carlos Beltran's full responsibility in that scandal, you can't really say that should keep him out of the Hall of Fame. But well-deserved, and I think he should be a Hall of Famer.
Exactly. I mean, 9-time All-Star, multiple Gold Gloves, over 400 home runs like Michael was mentioning. Like, you look at those, that's 100% a Hall of Famer. Like, you look at that, no matter what happened, that's a Hall of Famer. And just because of 1 year of a cheating scandal that he might not even have been a big impact in, and you're just going to put his name in that scandal. I mean, yes, he was a part of the team, but you're going to base it off that 1 year after how many years of greatness? I think he deserved it.
I feel like it would be different if he used performance-enhancing drugs. I feel like that would be the difference. If you take steroids or what, Pete Rose did, I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, but that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, I mean, you have the all-time hits leader. I mean, I understand he was betting on himself, but, I think MLB Hall of Fame induction is the worst in the Big Four sports, 100%. 100%. But I'm going to cash Carlos Beltran's career, and speaking of that, let's get into our next segment.
Josh Allen, without a number 1 receiver, will never win a Super Bowl.
Cash or
the Cincinnati Bengals are better off without Joe Burrow.
Trash.
That's right. Our hit segment, Cash or Trash, is back for the 7th season in a row, and I'm going to start off with the guy who made this amazing stager, JT Groves. What's your Cash or Trash for this week?
So my Cash or Trash for this one, now we all saw Indiana end up winning the national championship. Fernando Mendoza seems like the clear-cut number 1 overall pick. My Cash or Trash is that the Raiders need to trade away this number 1 pick to get more assets. Because, I mean, we look at the Raiders, they need a lot more than just a quarterback. I mean, they need help everywhere. And this is not even a strong quarterback class. I mean, you're going to have next year and the year after that, there's going to be a lot stronger quarterbacks, in my opinion. I think that they need to trade down this pick. Maybe take a shot on a later quarterback. Maybe they can trade down and still get a guy like Carson Beck in like the 4th or 5th round. Maybe take a shot. I don't know. But I don't think that they take Mendoza with his number 1. I think they trade down, get more picks. It would be better off for them.
No, I'm playing. I really want to trash it because there's not, like you said, there's not much in this draft. So depending on what you can really get, which I don't think it even holds like that much value to help your team tremendously. So I say, nah, man, scratch that. Go get Mendoza. See what he can do, man. Have some fun. A lot of people call him nerdy. I kind of like him. I like the guy, and I think he coming in without any expectations, man. Going to the Raiders, nobody's expecting the Raiders to do anything. Come in and see what happens, man.
I'm on the fence about this one, and here's why. I feel like it heavily depends on who Vegas hires as their head coach.
Yep.
I think that is heavily dependent on, what the quarterback situation is going to be in Vegas heading into 2026. Right now, I'm going to trash that because I think Fernando Mendoza has what it takes to be at the next level in the NFL. I know he's getting a lot of comparisons to like an Andrew Luck type player. He's not as well statured and as well, physical as Andrew Luck, but I feel like he has what it takes to be successful at the next level. I mean, you have Ashton Genty over there for Raiders, weapons when it comes to that. I'm not really too sure, what their wide receiver core is going to be looking like in 2026. It's going to be a little poor, but honestly, I think you take a chance on Mendoza right now. Who's the next quarterback you're going to have? What? Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson's going to be the next one off the board, in my opinion. And I think Fernando Mendoza is here for everybody watching on YouTube. I think Ty Simpson is here. I think there's a big gap between the 1 and 2 quarterbacks, personally for me in 2026.
I'm cashing it. I'm cashing it all day, actually.
Thank you, Michael.
The reason I am is because of this weak quarterback class. Because, like I said, I really this is how I feel about Fernando Mendoza, and this would be kind of a wild statement to make, probably, but. And I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot, so I could be wrong here. But Fernando Mendoza, to me, like his ceiling is being a Kirk Cousins to me, which to me is it's still good, but that's not number 1 overall pick good. And to me, like much rather trade down and like you still have a lot of good players in this draft. Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs. I'd rather trade down and get one of those guys, and then later on draft a Ty Simpson or Carson Beck, who I think Ty Simpson potential wise.
I was gonna jump in and say there's plenty of quarterbacks that are on ending contracts. Go out and get a guy like Daniel Jones. And let him be your quarterback and trade down that pick. Get some other picks, maybe draft some wide receivers or get some picks next year. There's going to be, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams might be in the draft next year. Like, you have these guys that are going to be unreal when they get to the NFL. Get you a guy like Daniel Jones just to have this season. You'll still probably have a top 10 pick next year. And then take some weapons to have Daniel Jones and, of course, Ashton Genty.
I'm going to reverse my own take. I'm going to cash your take. And here's why. You opened up my mind to this, Michael Miller. Max Crosby is not returning to the Raiders next year. And, this is a very heavy linebacker and edge draft class in 2026. So, honestly, I can see it, and I love it. You have Ruben Bain over there. You have, a guy who's versatile from the linebacker edge position in Harold Perkins from LSU. I would love that move there. But honestly, I'm going to revert back, and I'm going to cash that take. But Michael Miller, what's your cash or trash for this week?
My cash or trash. So I've mentioned this. I think I've mentioned this on iPocket several times. I know I've talked about it a lot off camera around like when we were just hanging out. Arthur Blank has fired every single head coach that he has ever hired when he's been the owner of the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
I'm excited about the Stefanski hire. I like it. I think it's fine. Harbaugh would have been my first pick. I would have liked Kubiak, but I'm good with Stefanski. My cash or trash is that not necessarily that Stefanski retires a Falcon, because again we've seen even Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin coaching 18 years or whatever it is in Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they end up having to leave because you get to a point where you've been there too long. But I do think that Arthur Blank does not fire Kevin Stefanski at some point.
I'll cash that. I'll cash it. I don't think he's going to. I think Blank had a clear mindset of who he wanted. I think he could have felt out a lot of other coaches, could have waited for the Seahawks to, finish their playoff run and go get Kubiak, who I genuinely wanted. But, Kevin Stefanski is a 1B to a 1A of a Kubiak. So it's not a wrong hire. It's exactly who he wanted. So I think he, rolls it out and sees how long he can last.
I personally love the hire of Kevin Stefanski, but I'm going to throw out the card of the way too early to tell because, Stefanski's still getting accumulated to the Falcon system. You retain Jeff Ulbrich. You bring in a guy like Tommy Rees who has a lot of success at the collegiate level in offensive coordinating. Stefanski, I love the hire. I think he was screwed over in Cleveland. They brought in Deshaun Watson, screwing over their chance at, many quarterbacks to come through the future years. I mean, they have Shedeur Sanders, but, there really wasn't much to do there. But I think Stefanski, he elevated that Browns team to a playoff run team. With guys like Joe Flacco in his age 37, 38 season. And, you have a really solid core there in the offensive side for the Falcons. I mean, you have Darnell Mooney, you have Drake London, you have Bijan Robinson, you have Tyler Algier, who might still stay, heading into the offseason. And honestly, I think it's a great fit for the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm going to put the way too early to tell just because I don't know how long his tenure is going to be.
Yeah, I agree with Jackson. I think it is very early to tell. For now, I want to cash it because, we're seeing that kind of trend. I love the Stefanski hire. I know you probably could have waited for a guy like Kubiak, but I think this is great. Two-time Coach of the Year in 2020, 2023. He turned that Browns team into a playoff team like Jackson was talking about. And, it depends if you want to roll with Penix, if you want to roll with Kirk, or if you want to go out and get a new guy. I think that he has a good opportunity to turn this team around. And I know Parker was talking about this earlier. The Falcons could be a playoff team very easily next year with Stefanski. NFC South, we've seen, very weak division compared to a lot of the divisions in the NFL. So if you're giving a guy like Kevin Stefanski, two-time Coach of the Year, you're giving him a team with Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and a very good passing defense, good overall defense. I think we could see the Falcons in the playoffs next year, and I like it.
I also love that he's more of an offensive-minded guy. You bring that into what we have lacked. Defense will hold their own, and we just need a guy. He took Baker and Nick Chubb with that play action. That's what brought him and made his name his name. So, get Penix back there, and Penix threw the deep ball extremely well at Washington. So I want to see play action. They're going to bite on Bijan Robinson and let him sling the rock. Go deep. Yeah. Drake London, Kyle Pitts.
You got guys.
Darnell Mooney. Go get another slot receiver late in the draft. Dude, I think he could really take off with this offense.
100%.
We're here in Carrollton. We're here in the city of dreams, and I know a lot of college students will be dreaming about a Falcons playoff run in 2026. But speaking of college students who binge drink alcohol at least 3 times per week were roughly 6 times more likely to perform poorly on a test or project because of drinking. Dream City Brewing Company, Wolf Sports Network, and Wolf Radio proudly reminds you to drink responsibly campaign. Students 21 and over should drink responsibly in an environment that discourages overindulging. Faculty won't take hangovers as excuses. And when we come back, as I said before, brand new season, brand new segment. I'm super excited for this one. But we're going to go into a quick break. Go into wolfsportsnetwork.com and listen there as well. But when we come back, it's a brand new segment. Stay tuned.
It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. You're listening to Sports Out of Pocket, live on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
Cross them up. Live from Carrollton, Georgia, the city of dreams. We got you covered with the men's and women's basketball teams. Shooting a 3, make it with ease, crossing you up, now you on a meme. And then they popped out and did it again like Baby Keem. Tune in 1 hour before tip-off of select home games this season for the West Georgia Wolves basketball teams. For the full list of live coverage, visit wolfsportsnetwork.com. Wolf Sports Network from inside the Coliseum.
WSN, Wolf Sports Network, will have you covered this West Georgia basketball season with Inside the Coliseum, our 30-minute pregame show that will start 1 hour before select home games.
But we saw his ability to make those tough shots. He is a shooter, and he was second in scoring behind Shelton Williams-Dryden.
I think we just need to get everybody the ball as much as possible. I think we need to throw the rock around.
Join us as we cover both the men's and women's basketball seasons from inside the Coliseum.
Wait a minute. Is this what I think it is? Wii Sports? Let's try something. Let me tell y'all about this show on Wolf Sports Network. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. It's the playbook. Hear us talk about all of college football, basketball, and baseball. Mondays from 9 to 10 p.m. The Playbook on Wolf Sports Network.
When you think about college sports, what do you think of?
Campus legends like Haynes King and Diego Pavia.
What if I told you there was a show for that and more?
More?
Playbook is your one-stop listen for college football, basketball, baseball, and UWG sports.
The Bulldogs have Ryan Nemhard, a great point guard, and they are going yard. Gonzaga in 5.
Tune into the Playbook Mondays from 9 to 10 p.m. only on Wolf Sports Network.
Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to help reduce the 21% of adults with low literacy skills. We are collecting new and gently used books for every UWG pre-K student monthly. Give today by visiting thewolfuwg.com/book drive. That's thewolfuwg.com/book drive.
Let's go.
This studio ain't big enough for the four of us. It's time to see who has the luck of the draw.
It's time for our brand new segment, Luck of the Draw. And Parker, I'm so glad you mentioned the word wolf, because I have the wolf head right here. And today we have our brand new segment, Luck of the Draw, and our category is going to be 2010s wide receivers. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull a random name out of this hat, and you have to name a year. This is where our ball knowledge comes in the test, because if you pick an injury year, I mean, you're absolutely screwed. But make sure to go vote on the interactive poll coming out tomorrow for Luck of the Draw, and we're going to start off with our youngest member of Sports Out of Pocket.
That would be me.
Jacob Thomas Groves.
That's crazy saying the full name.
Full government name.
Full government name is crazy. All right. First player is Deshaun Jackson.
Ooh.
Okay, so there's some good seasons. There's 2011 and 2012. There's 2010 even.
He had a lot of great seasons with Washington.
2010 through 2012 is what specifically comes to mind. I'm going to go with Give me 2012 Deshaun Jackson.
2012 Deshaun Jackson. I love the pick.
We'll just go in this order.
All right.
Right here.
Okay.
I'll shuffle them up.
Look at me, Parker. Look at me.
I am.
Let's see.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Ooh.
So, I mean, prime years with the Broncos, later half of the 2010s, he went over to the Niners with the Jimmy G seasons over there. But I recommend going some Broncos years, man.
Yeah, no, I think the year that sticks out to me for some reason, that's just on my mind for some reason, could be a good one, could be a bad one. But I'm thinking Emmanuel Sanders 2014, I think.
2014.
I mean, those were the Peyton Manning years in the playoff run. So, honestly, I love it. Now it's time for me to go. Please, I saw some names that I was writing down, and I don't want Golden Tate. No offense, Golden Tate, but, you know.
I mean, I just don't know what years he was good, you know?
A.J. Green.
Wow.
I put what? A.J. Green. Honestly, I love it. You know, some prime years with the Cincinnati Bengals in the early 2010s. But I'm going to go 2013 A.J. Green. I believe he had a phenomenal year with the Cincinnati Bengals, over 1,000 yards over there. But, Michael?
All right, let's see. Brandon Marshall. Okay.
Ooh. That's a tough one.
Do you want to have him go in we're going to have him go in reverse order this time.
Okay. I'm going to go 2011.
2011 Brandon Marshall. Those were his Jets days?
I think so.
Dolphins days?
Something, I don't know.
On double pick.
I'm going again.
Yeah, we're going to go in reverse order this time.
How many are we picking?
4 each.
Rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas.
Ooh.
Let's see.
That's another Bronco guy.
Another Bronco. I mean, you had the dynamic duo for the wide receivers in Demaryius Thomas and
2015.
2015. I like
15.
it. I like it. Again, this is where our ball knowledge comes into test. My next guy to pair up with AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins. Ooh. Now, there's a lot of years I can go here for the Houston Texans, but I'm gonna go with 20. I'm trying to think. 2017 DeAndre Hopkins.
Ooh, 17.
That's kind of a later one for sure.
2017 DeAndre Hopkins.
I would have went a little bit earlier than that.
Oh.
2017 DeAndre Hopkins.
Parker, who was your first pick?
Emmanuel Sanders, 2014.
Okay.
The next pick is Odell Beckham Jr.
There's one single year, and let's see if you know this.
I mean,
year.
just the great, arguably the greatest year of all time. 10 years ago, I want to go 2016. Odell Beckham Jr.
16 OBJ.
You know the year before that?
Yeah.
That's good.
You don't like that take?
I mean, I forgot which year he made the catch, but I believe it was 2016.
I believe it's 15.
His rookie season was his best season.
I thought it was 15.
I'm balling with 16.
All right, 16. I mean, he's just going based off the Madden cover, so he's
no.
I was about to do the same right here with Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 2018 Antonio Brown.
I know this.
JT was smart though, right there. Because the Madden year is a year ahead.
The Brown, the Madden's always a year ahead.
So
All right.
Parker, you might have screwed
And then- I
yourself
might have
over.
messed up.
And then I get to go again. Larry Fitzgerald. That's a long career.
Buddy's definitely cheating.
There's a lot of years that you could pick from. I love my team so far. There's a lot of years you could pick from with Larry Fitzgerald. I'm gonna have to go. I'll go 2013. Larry Fitzgerald.
I like the answer. I mean, those were Carson Palmer years in Arizona. So yeah, I like
Next pick coming up is Calvin Johnson.
Ooh,
it. You got
Megatron.
Megatron.
I'm not a big
snap.
So, by the way, I'm letting you know he retired in 2015.
Why would you tell him that?
Oh,
He could have
wait.
won 2016, bro.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
wait.
That's not what I was thinking anyway. I was thinking I was trying to decide on 12 or 13, and I think I'm gonna go with 2012, Calvin Johnson. 2012.
Yeah, honestly, they're basically going off the Madden years, so it's like cheating. I don't know.
It's
so
not cheating.
so now I know. I was writing down. I know Golden Tate and T.Y. Hilton are in here, and I don't want. I don't want.
Give him Golden Tate.
I don't want Golden Tate.
Give him Golden Tate.
And it is.
Golden
It's
Tate.
Golden Tate.
Let's go.
It's
Golden
Golden
Tate.
Tate. So I got to think about this very, very, very carefully because he had a great year in Detroit. Before Stafford went over there, and I should have done my research. Golden Tate,
Let's see what year he picks.
2015.
15.
15 was a good year.
That was-
15.
I think that's good. I
20
think you're
2015?
playing it safe. You're going the middle of the century. I think that's fine. I don't.
So
hate that.
I got D Hop, AJ Green, Golden Tate.
That's not bad. That's not bad. All right,
Please
Michael.
pick T.Y.
Michael's
I want
last
Julio,
two back
bro.
to back.
T.Y. Hilton.
Oh, Julio Jones is still in there.
I
by
want
the way.
Julio, bro.
2016, T.Y. Hilton.
2016.
I
T.Y.
like the
Hilton.
answer. I like
I
the
don't
answer.
hate that.
And that's your final.
Is that Colts?
Oh wait, yeah.
I got one more.
Is that Colts, T.Y.?
Don't
That is
don't
Colts,
cheat. Don't
T.Y.
cheat. You can't
I'm
look.
not cheating. I'm just grabbing one out.
No. He got
He's
Let's see.
Mike Evans. Okay.
Mike
really,
Evans.
really, any season you want, really.
1,000 every year.
2019, Mike Evans.
2019.
There's-
Mike Evans.
There's
Three more.
There's three in here. There's three in here. And this
Save
is
me Julio. Save me Julio, will you?
Let's see who Jackson gets his last player.
Save me Julio, man. Save me
all
Julio.
right. All right. My last player. Julio Jones.
No.
Okay, I will take that.
What year though? You could
I
always,
know.
you could always go 2020.
No,
2021.
I'm gonna go 2016 Julio Jones.
2016
one, yeah.
Julio.
It's a
That's a
safe
safe bet.
It's a
That's
safe bet. I'm going 2016 Julio Jones.
I don't know who else is in here.
There's
I don't know.
I forgot who else.
There's
Some of his last player anyway.
Jordy
so.
Nelson's in there.
Well, next up is Des Bryant.
Oh.
And good Cowboy days.
Yeah.
Early,
I want a
early
Tony Romo
2000s.
day right there.
I'm going to go 2012, Des Bryant.
I like
2012.
it. I like it.
2012.
2012 Des Bryant. You know, honestly, it saved me because if I had that last pick, I don't know what I'd do in the standings. So
The last pick of the draft, Jordy Nelson.
I like it.
I'm going to go 2014 Jordy Nelson.
I like
Good
the
pull, good
answer
pull, good pull.
because Jordy Nelson had those dynamic duo days with Devontae Adams early on in
And-
the prime Aaron Rodgers days in the Packers.
and that's scary to go with because 2015, I think he got hurt in 2015.
I think he did as well.
All right, so the final team standings for this first ever Luck of the Draw draft. We'll start with Parker's team. 2014, Emmanuel Sanders. 2016, Odell. 2012, Megatron. And 2012, Des Bryant.
Sweet.
It's a solid team. Jackson's team. 2013, A.J. Green. 2017, DeAndre Hopkins. 2015, Golden Tate. 2016, Julio Jones. Very solid team. Michael, 2011, Brandon Marshall. 2015, Demaryius Thomas. 2016, T.Y. Hilton. And 2019, Mike Evans. My team, 2012, Deshaun Jackson. 2018, Antonio Brown. 2013, Larry Fitzgerald. And 2014, Jordy Nelson. So those are the final teams. We're going to have a poll out, interactive poll on Instagram, Wolf Sports Network on Instagram. You guys go and vote, and we'll probably have the results next week.
I mean, I love the team I have, and honestly, I was really wishing for Mike Evans because 2014 after
Any year
you could have chosen.
1,000.
It was 1,000 yard receiving. And honestly, Mike Evans is one of my favorite players of all time, even though he's not a Philadelphia Eagle. I love Mike Evans, truly. But that has been our brand new segment, Luck of the Draw. Stay tuned out on Instagram, as JT said. Make sure to go vote and stay tuned next week for that as well. And honestly, I'm putting all in on 2013 Golden Tate, whatever Golden Tate I selected. But let's get into the lottery.
Surely I'll have some better luck this time. Hey, how's it going? I'll take one lottery ticket. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I just won the lottery.
The lottery is back after taking a one-season hiatus off of Sports Out of Pocket. If you don't know how the lottery works, it is we have a player, team, or coach we are extremely high on or low on that we're putting all of our chips in, and I'm going to start off with the new member of Sports Out of Pocket, Parker Andell. Who is that for you?
I'll keep it Yankee themed. We just brought him back today. I'm super high on Cody Bellinger.
Yep.
Very excited to bring him back. It was a high price, but that's the market we're in nowadays. Very successful season last year, and I'm excited to have him slotted in right behind or in front of Aaron Judge. Super high on him. And I know JT is too, being a Yankees fan.
I'm extremely high on Cody Bellinger. I mean, like you said, having him either right before or right after Aaron Judge, that's just like you want that order when it comes down to that ninth inning. You want those guys up to bat, and I think it's a great re-sign. I love the move. I'm really high on that.
Speed, defense, can play first. I'm super excited. Glad we got him back.
High is one word to describe Cody Bellinger because it seems like he always is. But honestly, I love the Cody Bellinger signing for the New York Yankees. I mean, 5 years, 2 million for Cody Bellinger. He's been a really solid bat ever since going over to New York since leaving Chicago. And, I was really thinking he was going to go to like the Philadelphia Phillies or the New York Mets before the whole Luis Robert signing over there. But great retain for the New York Yankees. Now, I want to give my lottery guy, and I'm going to go with Sam Darnold heading into the NFC Championship. I think he should be in the same conversation as Dak Prescott, and before everybody goes crazy, let me tell you why. Sam Darnold has elevated the Seahawks team. By the way, back-to-back 13-win seasons for Sam Darnold. Everybody was calling him a game manager. Everybody was low on Sam Darnold, saying, this $100 million contract is absolutely awful for Seattle. No, it was not. Honestly, it was a great bargain for Sam Darnold. If you give him a perfect set of weapons like JSN, like Cooper Kupp, like A.J. Barner, who's been a phenomenal tight end in the NFL this season, put him in a right organization, he will thrive. And, Geno Smith had a very similar organization last season, wasn't able to do anything in that organization. You put a guy like Sam Darnold, I think he's arguably top 10. Now, regular season stats, I'm not going to say they were flaky, but I think they were above par. There was a reason he was, voted into the Pro Bowl. I know Pro Bowl doesn't mean much nowadays as it used to, but Sam Darnold has been a really pivotal piece for the Seahawks team, and I'm high on Sam Darnold.
I mean, I completely disagree. I mean, I like Sam Darnold, not going to lie. He's fringe top 10 quarterback, though. Like, you can maybe make an argument for me in top 10, but anything above that is just insane to me. Who I am high on, I'm very high on John Harbaugh and the New York Giants next season. I like the move of John Harbaugh leaving the Ravens and going to a much younger team that has a great young quarterback in Jackson Dart, a great young running back when he's healthy in Cam Scatterbo. You have Malik Neighbors. You have a great young defense as well. You just got to work on the secondary a little bit. I think that Harbaugh could bring this team, maybe not exactly next season because you're still in a tough division. I mean, you have the Eagles who won the Super Bowl last year, and you have also the Cowboys
and the Commanders when they are healthy.
And the Commanders when they have Jane Daniels healthy. All three of those teams could be playoff teams very easily. And I think that the New York Giants, though, if you give them 2 or 3 years under Harbaugh, and they really build out that secondary, they build up that offensive line, give Jackson Dart some more targets, I think that they could very easily be a playoff team. So I'm really high on John Harbaugh and these New York Giants.
I'm waiting to speak on them a little bit more for Fire Me Up. But honestly, phenomenal hiring for the New York Giants. I 100%. Feel like they need a winning head coach, and they've always gone the offensive coordinator route that has never really worked out. Joe Judge was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots in their semi-good year, but he wasn't made out to be a head coach. Brian Dable, I love him as an offensive coordinator. I think that he needs to be brought in for the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator position, but it's looking like he might be hired as the Bills' next HC.
I really hope not.
I saw rumors around there, but I think that's an extreme downgrade for the Buffalo Bills. But honestly, I love the Harbaugh hiring. I'm excited to see how he elevates, Jackson Dart next season. And Cam Scatterbo is absolutely phenomenal when he is healthy. So, I mean, all ups from here for the New York Giants. But Michael Miller, who are you cashing in and putting all your chips in for lottery this week?
Do I have to go with who I think is high, or can I go the low player?
Go low.
You can go low.
You can go low.
'Cause I want to go low.
Go for it.
I'm very low on Luis Robert going to New York. It's not just because I hate the Mets, even though I do hate the Mets very much. He has not been the same player for a while now in Chicago. And a lot of people, I think he can still be that player that he was before, but he hasn't been the same guy for a good bit now. And going to New York, I know a lot of people are going to say, maybe go to a new market. Maybe you get, it's a fresh environment for him, new scene. Maybe he'll, recalibrate things. Kind of Cody Bellinger had to do that, left L.A., went to Chicago, kind of found himself again. But he never got back to that full potential that he was when he was in L.A., but he's still a good baseball player. My thing with Robert, I just don't think he's built for the New York media. Watching him deal with the Chicago media when he's been there, and again, not the Cubs media, the White Sox. The White Sox media gave him problems. This New York media, we know how JT knows all about how the New York media can be as a Bills fan. So and as a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
So I just don't think he's going to handle it very well. I don't think he's going to get back to that port that he was a couple years ago with the White Sox.
I kind of disagree there just because there's so much potential with Luis Robert. Guy plays an amazing center field. He's got unreal pop if you watch the home run derby that he was in. And I'm big on change of scenery, man. Change of scenery for guys I feel like is huge and crucial. And you go be a part of winning baseball, you get out of Chicago White Sox, you get around some guys who – you're around Juan Soto, you're around Bo Bichette, you're around Francisco Lindor. You can't tell me it's not going to motivate you to want to play baseball. So I don't want to rule out Luis Robert. I think he plays an amazing center field. I think he's got unreal pop, and I'd be excited to see what he can do for the Mets.
I hate the narrative of change of scenery is always good because that's not always the case. Nolan Arenado was phenomenal in Colorado. Went over to St. Louis thinking he was going to be the same type of player. He was not. He was always injury prone, and when he was healthy, he was putting up a stat line of 240, 16 homers, and 70 RBIs. He was a basic average player. Maybe he was phenomenal if he was in the 70s, but no, he was absolutely horrific for the St. Louis Cardinals. And honestly, I hate the whole narrative of change of scenery, but I wish the best for Luis Robert because he was phenomenal back in 2021 when he was with the White Sox and the home run derby he was in there. Something I'm extremely low on. I'm low on every other organization outside of the Los Angeles Dodgers when it comes to paying players because I'm tired of every MLB fan that is not a Dodgers fan complaining about not spending money. Go spend the money. Go spend the money because the New York Mets had the second highest payroll last season, getting Juan Soto in the offseason. What happened? 83 and 79 didn't lead to anything. So honestly, the New York Yankees, they have the money to get these players. Go get Framber Valdez, who is still out there, who you need to bolster that starting rotation to be a good pivotal piece in this really, really tough AL. So I'm low on every other team that's not the Los Angeles Dodgers when it comes to spending money, specifically my St. Louis Cardinals. So
I agree. Guys need to go spend money. It makes the game more entertaining. It makes the game more competitive. And everyone's complaining about the Dodgers doing it, but why can't you do the same thing? And I'm not big on the Yanks going to get Framber. He can stay in Houston with all that nonsense of crossing up his catcher and stuff. Bad locker room guy. Yeah. But I will go with I'd love to see us go make a move for Freddie Peralta. It's in the works.
Zach Gallen is there.
Zach Gallen as well. Just don't let the Dodgers get any more guys. I'd love to go bid and steal guys from the Dodgers because they're just letting them get away with too much. Man.
Now, for everybody who is big on baseball around this table, I have a proposed question for you. A lot of people said that there's going to be a lockout in the spring of 2027. Do you believe that?
It's bound to happen.
Absolutely.
I think it is.
Absolutely, it's going to
100%.
happen.
Why do you think so?
Well, because I agree with you 100% about these teams not spending money, especially these small market teams like the Pirates or like the Rays, for example. But I think the bigger issue is just the Dodgers. I mean, like now Toronto's a team that spends a lot of money. They've had no issue doing that. But they offered Kyle Tucker, what was it, like 10 years, $350 million or something like that? And then LA comes in with a 4-year deal, but they're going to pay him, $63 million a year for the next 4 years? Like, what are you supposed to do against that? When the Dodgers have just no issue at all going, like, way over the luxury tax every single season, there's really, it kind of gets to a point where, like, you can't really do anything else for another franchise.
Yeah, I mean, we've always talked about, like, should the MLB have some type of salary cap? And, I mean, it does get to a point where, I mean, now we're seeing the Dodgers get absolutely everybody. Oh, you might have gave him almost your entire salary cap. Oh, the Dodgers have 3 times that much that they're going to give this player. Like, it's to the point where we probably should have done something a few years ago to work with the salary cap, and they just did not do anything about it. I mean, the big market teams are going to have the most money. They're going to get the best players, and they're going to be the teams that consistently go to the World Series. I think it was bound to happen that we're going to have a lockout. I
agree too, but it also comes down to the fact of guys are going to go where they want to go, and they're going to want to go where they win. They want to win, and
we saw it with Kevin Durant and going to Golden State.
And we look at the if you looked at Juan Soto's offer from the Yankees and Juan Soto's offer from the Mets, it was very similar. Maybe a year off, maybe $5 million off, but you don't tell me that he's going to choose $5 million more in a $700 million contract. He wanted to go to the Mets. And have at it. You don't want to be in Aaron Judge's shadow. That's fine. But when it comes down to these contracts, guys are going to choose where they want to go. And I think Kyle Tucker just wanted to try to go get him a ring with the Dodgers and take that pressure off him because he doesn't have to be the star somewhere else.
Honestly, it's lit a fire under everybody around the MLB. And speaking of that, but before we get into our hit segment, fire me up, JT.
I just wanted to let you guys know that in a recent survey, almost 53% of full-time college students ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. That is why Dream City Brewing Company, Wolf Sports Network, and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign is here to remind you all that there is no drinking under the age of 21. Never drink and drive, even if it's one alcoholic drink. And add food and water when you drink so you don't end up texting your ex, which you do not want to text your ex. Nothing good comes from that. So know your limits.
I'm going to be texting somebody if the St. Louis Cardinals don't make a move in the offseason. But before we get into that, we're going to go into a quick break. But when we come back, it's time to get fired up about the MLB offseason, NFL offseason, and everything to do with sports. Stay tuned.
This is former MLB All-Star Justin Masterson, and you're listening to Sports Out of Pocket on Wolf Sports Network.
The Playbook is your home for West Georgia sports this spring. From University Stadium,
We saw a very well put together offense that was trailing and going into the half and then comes out in the third quarter and puts themselves up.
To the Coliseum.
We're finishing well at the rim, being aggressive, being physical. A lot of guys are touching the rock. It's been a great start for the Wolves.
And Cole Field.
I hope West Georgia wins. I'm going to be rooting for West Georgia tomorrow.
The Playbook, live every Monday from 9 to 10 p.m.
Tune in to Wolf Sports Network throughout the week to hear the very best in UWG sports coverage. Catch live shows, score updates, and breaking news all week long. But sometimes seeing really is believing. And now you can watch your favorite Wolf Sports Network shows live on YouTube. Follow at Wolf Sports Network on YouTube as we bring you into the studio with your favorite shows and personalities. Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
Cross them up. Live from Carrollton, Georgia, the city of dreams. We got you covered with the men's and women's basketball teams. Shooting a three, make it with ease, crossing you up, now you on a meme. And then they popped out and did it again like Baby Keem. Tune in 1 hour before tip-off of select home games this season for the West Georgia Wolves basketball teams. For the full list of live coverage, visit wolfsportsnetwork.com. Wolf Sports Network from inside the Coliseum.
WSN, Wolf Sports Network, will have you covered this West Georgia basketball season with Inside the Coliseum, our 30-minute pregame show that will start 1 hour before select home games.
But we saw his ability to make those tough shots. He is a shooter, and he was second in scoring behind Shelton Williams-Dryden.
I think we just need to get everybody the ball as much as possible. I think we need to throw the rock around.
Join us as we cover both the men's and women's basketball seasons from inside the Coliseum.
Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to boost literacy rates with our pre-K book drive. Our ongoing book drive will provide a new or gently used book to every child at UWG's Pre-K Monthly. Give today by visiting thewolfuwg.com/book drive. Together, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network will make a brighter future. Visit thewolfuwg.com/book drive.
It's time to get heated with Fire Me Up.
Now, there is a lot to get fired up about, and I want to start about myself because I don't really get a lot of chances to talk about it considering we're in the Atlanta area, and I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan. I want to start off with the MLB side of things. Chicago Cubs signed Alex Bregman. And I'm absolutely upset and fired up about it because the Cardinals lost Nolan Arenado to the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're not bringing up our top 3 farm system in all the MLB to bring into that starting lineup. JJ Weatherholt hasn't been called up yet to replace Arenado in that third base spot. We have no pitching. We got rid of Sonny Gray. He's gone. We got rid of Wilson Contreras. He's gone. And a return for what? A return of what? For Richard Dick Fitz? That's it? That's all we got? I'm absolutely upset about that. And when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFL game, Michael, I was watching that 49ers game with you over at your house. By the way, shout out your dog, Freddie. He was my emotional support animal when it came to watching that game. But A.J. Brown complained all season about not getting the ball. But when he's finally thrown the ball, he decides to drop it. Oh, my gosh. Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. And get rid of A.J. Brown. He needs to go away from the Philadelphia Eagles. Offensive coordinator position. What are we doing? Well, obviously we fired Kevin Patullo. That put, the icing on the cake for me, and honestly, I was super excited about that. But we let Mike McDaniel run off to the Chargers. I saw a lot of reports that, he was calling off the interview, but that wasn't the case. Brian Dable might get hired over with the Bills. Who do we have? Cliff Kingsbury? I mean, I'll deal with Cliff Kingsbury, but if I see reports we're getting Zach Robinson, I don't want that. I don't want that.
I don't think you understand how much that would make my year. If
that would be absolutely awful for 2026, man. I just want to get up and graduate in peace and watch my sports riding off into the sunset. By the way, this is my last season, so unfortunately you won't get to see me after May.
Really sad.
But it's going to be the most exciting 14-plus weeks left of the semester. Now, everybody else, you talk. I'm done.
Fire me up, Michael. I mean, the Falcons did exactly what I wanted them to the last time I talked on Fire Me Up. I wanted them to clean house, get everybody out of there that even had a part of last season. And now we've got Matty Ice running the helm at the president of football. Man, fire me up. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Stefanski. I'm so excited to come into next season. And we're favored to make the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says.
All I did on here was complain about not only Arthur Blank, but Rich McKay specifically.
You also complained about Baker Mayfield, and look how that happened.
I didn't complain about Baker
Well,
Mayfield.
you
I just called him out, and I was wrong. I apologize. I apologize for that already.
You're right.
I complained about Rich McKay so much because I felt like the only way this would ever change is if we made critical changes in the organization. Mm-hmm. Arthur Blank, I forget what you call it, but he brought in a bunch of people from some company earlier this year, and they did a whole wellness check basically on the organization, and they came back and was like, "You're failing. This is horrible. You have a president of football operations. Rich McKay has 3 made-up positions. I don't know why he's even being paid." So finally, Arthur Blank goes, "Okay, we got to make a change." Firing the whole coaching staff except for Jeff Ulbrich, which was a good decision. Getting rid of Rich McKay, moving him over to I think he's in charge of events of Mercedes or something right now. So that's a good thing. And then going out and getting Matt Ryan was the biggest key to this, though, for me. Getting a guy who loves this franchise, who knows what it takes to win in this franchise. I trust Matt Ryan blindly, pretty much, to be honest with you. Now, obviously, it's a new role for him, but if he thinks Kevin Stefanski is the right guy for the job, I trust it fully. And we talked about already, 2-time Coach of the Year in Cleveland, of all places. I'm very excited about it, so I'm very much looking forward to next year.
Hey, man, and Matt Ryan, we trust. We'll go to Bills fan over to our right.
All right, I got 2 words for everybody at this table. It's free McDermott. All right, so with this Buffalo Bills organization, and we have a head coach that is the best one that's out there right now, and we decided to get rid of him because we lose a playoff game to the Denver Broncos. Keep in mind, this was the first time that we could blame Josh Allen for a playoff game, for a loss. And all season, we're talking about a head coach that ended a 17-year playoff drought with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. This team was not good, and Sean McDermott flipped it around, ended that 17-year playoff drought, And now we are contenders almost every single year. And we want to get rid of him because of this season because we can't get over the hump. I mean, I agree with that. I don't think we are able to. And I did think that we needed to change the scenery. McDermott was the one guy that you do not get rid of. Like, this guy loves Buffalo more than anything, almost as much as Josh Allen does. He wants to get a ring for Buffalo. I think that we shouldn't have gotten rid of him. I think that we need to go higher up to Brandon Beane, get rid of the GM, make some changes there, maybe get rid of Bobby Babich, our defensive coordinator. I'd like Joe Brady as offensive coordinator, but some of his play calling is questionable. I think McDermott was the one guy that you keep, and unless you get rid of him because you see a guy better, and the only guy out there right now is Kubiak. That's the only guy that you could say right now might be a better fit than Sean McDermott. And I know we're talking to Brian Dable. I'm so low on Brian Dable. You mentioned that Brian Dable is not a head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. When we had him at offensive coordinator, we had Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. We had our best offense of all time, like best offense in Buffalo history with him at offensive coordinator. Then he goes and he's a head coach in New York. And what do? They suck. I don't like Brian Dable. Get him on the offensive coordinator. Don't let him be a head coach. Do not let him be a head coach. Go get Kubiak because now we can't get McDermott back. Get rid of our defensive coordinator. Brandon Beane needs to be out of here at some point, and it needs to be soon.
Do you want to know what's absolutely insane, JT? I completely agree with you. I think they should have kept Sean McDermott. I think they should have fired Brandon Beane, but instead they promoted him to a different role.
Unreal.
Maybe I saw Benchwarmer Brand's TikTok and skit on that. He said, they promoted him because maybe he'll be good at a different job. I mean, honestly, I think he should have left Buffalo. He should have been out of there. I don't think Brian Daboll needs to come back at all because I think that's just going to be going around in circles, for the Buffalo Bills. But, I mean, obviously you need a change of pace. I think you should have kept McDermott. I think you should have gotten rid of Brandon Beane because he's just shipping off star receivers and thinking that Josh Allen's going to clean up the mess. Yeah. He's not. You need to keep a steady core in the offensive scheme when it comes to, offensive coordinating and when it comes to, situations over there. I think you need to get rid of Brandon Beane. You need to draft, some key guys. I mean, I don't know how well Maxwell Hairston did this season.
He was hurt half the year, and then when he came back, he was kind of swapping in and out with Tre'Davious White, who is old. He's washed. Yep. He had a few good games, but we have a young talent. He's one of the fastest corners coming out of the draft, the fastest corner coming out of the draft. But Brandon Beane tried to ship the blame of drafting Keon Coleman, who obviously had some problems this season with not showing up to the team meetings. He tried to blame that on Sean McDermott. And Sean McDermott, Stephen A. Smith said it best. He is getting scapegoated. Mm-hmm. We're being blamed. We're blaming Sean McDermott for the Bills' failures when it is not at all his fault. It's Brandon Beane's fault. It's the offense and defensive coordinators. Sean McDermott has coached his team, completely turned them around to make them a playoff contender each and every year.
I think you're screwed over in 2026 just because the Chiefs did rehire their former offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, and I think it's going to be a full revival for the Kansas City Chiefs next year. But that's a discussion for another day. And JT, you mentioned good games and good callings, but stay tuned Thursday and Saturday for Wolf Sports Network's live coverage of UWG basketball. Tomorrow we have the men's game at 7 p.m. versus Central Arkansas. Go listen on Wolf Sports Network.